Hello, hello, Southeast Texas. Boy, oh boy, this night, it seems like we've been waiting for it forever. You know, when you talk about all of the rallies that have been held, all of the fundraising efforts, all of the commercials we've seen, all of the text messages that have come through to our phones.
So many.
Yes. Now we get our say in who will represent us, not only in the highest office of the land, but of course here locally in Southeast Texas.
And Dejanique, we're joined by Tom Taschinger from the Beaumont Enterprise. He's with us, our 12 News political analyst. Tom, they said you'd talk about anything, so I'm just gonna start because I've still got the Jefferson County numbers up behind us. This is the race for president in Jefferson County, and my goodness, is it still close? Fewer than 1,000 votes separating the president and the former vice president at this point. Looks very similar to what we saw in 2016. Are you surprised?
Not really. Jefferson County is split almost exactly between Republicans and Democrats. And Sheriff Stevens, for example, won last time by just 1,000 votes or so, although she appears to be doing much better this time. Your numbers there showed President Trump ahead by a thin margin over Joe Biden in Jefferson County. The county's pretty evenly split. There was some thought that that might change if Port Arthur lost a lot of residents and voters because of Tropical Storm Harvey and the other tropical storms. It doesn't appear to have happened. The split appears to be there right around 50-50.
Dej, you got questions for him as well?
Absolutely. So just want to talk about the demographics. We were saying that it's still 50-50 here in Southeast Texas, but when you look at the state as a whole, what's happening in some of those areas where folks are saying Texas may be turning purple?
Oh, Texas is. I mean, Texas, there are more black and brown voters in Texas, people who would tend to vote Democratic, although not necessarily. Republicans have done fairly well with the Hispanic vote in Texas. But yes, the state is changing. Democrats keep thinking they're getting closer, and they appear to be a lot closer this time. Although right now it's looking like Senator Cornyn and President Trump may win Texas by not big margins, but still solid enough to, it's a win. It's a victory for them.
Yeah, some of the trends I was just reading about, we'll jump down. I used to live down in the Rio Grande Valley. You look at Hidalgo County, which I believe is roughly 90% Hispanic. And you've got Biden on top, but not by a huge margin. So this could be one of the big stories of the night, that Biden kind of underperforms, Tom, with Latino voters. Sure.
And if the Republican can get 40% of the Hispanic vote in that county or any part of Texas, they're going to be real pleased with that. That's a good number for them, absolutely.
Yeah, and that's something that's jumping out. There's also this blue corridor that's emerging, right? You used to just have Travis and Bexar County. Now you've got Hays, Williamson County. It's kind of like this I-35 corridor in Central Texas, a blue highway, but it may not be enough.
Yeah, another factor is that President Trump didn't get some votes from suburban women that he got 4 years ago, and that could be reflected in some of those county vote totals you've seen. We just don't know if this is an unusual year in that regard or if it's a permanent shift in Texas.
And speaking of those suburban women, that's a demographic that the president definitely started to hit on within the last few days of campaigning. Tom, why do you think that particular shift happened with the election?
Women are just turned off to President Trump's personality. I mean, you just got to call it. I mean, you know, men will accept more of his quirks and things he says and does in his tweets. Across the country, you've seen women turn away from that. They are not comfortable with that. That's not the kind of politics they want. They may have given him a chance 4 years ago before they had a full view of him, but lately they have just not liked what they've seen.
All right, Tom, we're going to pause it right there and take a quick break with our coverage. Coming back in just about 2 minutes or so.